Hey guys, Ken Scott, Senior U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst with www.usentry-waiver-services.com. And we've already gotten you guys cleared to enter USA. All right, guys, today we're going to talk about the 5-year bans that Canadians get at this U.S. border. Guys, a lot of this stuff is from experience having worked for the system, been a former federal officer, former law enforcement officer, former trainer, and also in doing this work in terms of getting people cleared to enter the USA. You guys need to understand about these 5-year bans. They actually technically they're called expedited removal. That's a technical term, used at DHS. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to say 5-year ban because you can get a 5-year ban, you get 10-year ban, 20-year ban, lifetime ban. 5-year ban means you're banned to enter the USA. Guys, now sometimes the 5-year bans are technically lifetime. They don't tell you that, but sometimes they are. So what happens is, and I don't want to make the distinction or tell you guys what the distinction is, because again, these discount waiver companies, whatever, they keep trying to reverse engineer our stuff, and I'm not doing anything to keep their lights on. So what I will tell you guys is, again, sometimes the 5-year bans are 5 years, sometimes they're lifetime. Even though it'll say 5 years at the top, that's not always necessarily true. DHS does that on purpose. I mean, it is what it is. Just got to deal with it. In terms of these bans, they want to see when you get one of these bans, whatever's in the narrative or the sworn statement that you've done, they want to see that that stuff is no longer applicable, in order for them to approve a waiver. Now, if you made I'm trying to figure out how to explain this without giving away too much for these other places to use, these lawyers who don't know what they're doing to use. If these waivers for these bans are filed too soon, you will get denied because not enough time has been shown for rehabilitation. Rehabilitation, guys, again, that's a title for another video. I'm not going to go into that. But essentially, each waiver application has to show some degree of rehabilitation. Obviously, some more than others. Hence, the child molestation, that's beyond massive rehab and more. But like possession of a joint, uh, car theft, that's a different type of rehab. The drug trafficking, that's another type of rehab. People with drug trafficking convictions or who admitted to drug trafficking, whatever, different type of rehab. So, but generally speaking, well, it's not generally. Each waiver has to have some degree of rehabilitation, some a lot less than others. 5-year bans, they want to see certain things and they look at your history. So they look at now in terms of your history, if you got like a long, detailed history of breaking U.S. immigration law, it's going to be a lot more work to get cleared than if it's just a less complex violation. Like they thought you were trying to move down there to be with a boyfriend or whatever, if you're a girl. So, but then again, I can't even say that because I just got off the phone with a client yesterday about that who got a 5-year ban in the U.S. and this person has no criminal record, but this person basically told, and she didn't, it's not her fault. So she's watching this. She knows I'm not blaming her or the boyfriend, but they just didn't know how DHS works, how these officers work. And because of that, she's got a ban. And again, she herself did nothing wrong. But because of her background and she had very few ties to Canada, she had a U.S. citizen, has a U.S. citizen boyfriend, has a documented U.S. history that they don't like. I'll say it like that. That's why she got the 5-year ban. And she went to one of the worst borders to get it. So I don't want to tell you the name of the border. So I'm not going to embarrass her. And I don't want that border, if I call them out by name, they're going to be pissed with me. So keep it straight and simple. You don't want a 5-year ban because a 5-year ban is a deportation. So that means if you're getting married to a U.S. citizen, you got that 5-year ban, you're going to need a special waiver because of that ban. Now, I've also told you that some of those bans can go into a lifetime as well. So you got to factor that in. Sometimes they are, sometimes they are not. But you're going to need a waiver, a special kind of waiver. It's like a marriage. It's only just to enter as a visitor. That's a different type of waiver, different process. So totally different things. But like I told her yesterday and him, having that 5-year ban is just like The Walking Dead, where the zombies that get reanimated and come back and bite you. this thing is going to come back and bite her for the next 5 years. Luckily, she doesn't have the ban that goes over 5, even though it says 5, so she's good in that sense. But it's like The Walking Dead; it's going to be reanimated and come back to bite you. Now, I should tell you something, guys, and I know DHS is not going to like this. In order for them to give you a 5-year ban at the U.S. border, they have to do a sworn statement. Let's say if I'm the officer, and this is the person here, I've got to get this person to do a quote unquote voluntary sworn statement. If this person declines to do the statement, I'm stuck. I cannot give them the ban at the border. DHS is not going to like this, but oh well. I have to get this person to do a sworn statement. You guys say, well, okay, what if I don't do the sworn statement? I'm not going to give you advice any way, whatever direction. But if I'm the officer and I can't get this person to do the sworn statement, they decline, I'm stuck. I can't get them. I can still deny them entry, but I can't get them that deportation. So I got to try verbal judo, word games, whatever, maybe do a little bit of flexing, whatever. I got to try to get this person to do it. Like, this is the officer right here. And I'm this is the officer and I'm me. And say, well, Mr. Scott, we need to document this encounter. I understand that you live in Vancouver. You've got a girlfriend in Seattle. I understand you don't work there. And this is talking to me. And I understand the fact that you've been seeing her off and on for the past 5 years. I understand that you've got a U.S. bank account and you've spent a lot of time there. You didn't overstay, but I get that. So I just need to document this for our files, and then we'll get you out the door. Okay, then. Okay, well, I can respect your position. I get where you're coming from, etc. But what exactly is this documentation you need from me? Like, why do you need this written up? Oh, well, no, it's just just procedure. We just need to write it up. Okay, I get that, but can you tell me like why you need this written up and what's going to happen? Like once this is written up, what happens to me next? Oh, well, let's get you out of the door. Okay. But when you say get me out of the door, are you talking about get me out of the door in terms of the door entering the USA or get me out of the door in terms of going back to Canada? He said, oh, we'll just see what happens. Okay, so in all honesty, sir, respectfully, I mean, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable doing this. I don't feel comfortable at all. I understand lawyers are not allowed at the border, but I just don't really feel comfortable, doing this. Um, he's like, well, what do you mean? I'll just do like when I do that, that means he's talking. So, well, what do you mean? You don't feel comfortable? Well, I mean, I understand you've got a job you've got to do. I totally get it, but I don't know if I feel comfortable with this. I think respectfully, I declined to do the interview. What do you mean you want to decline? Well, I'm just saying, I just think I should just decline this. I'm really, I don't want to offend you, be disrespectful. I respect your authority, but I don't feel comfortable in this. Well, I need to document this for the record. I understand, sir. So, respectfully, are you telling me I have to do this? I'm required to do this? Are you saying I'm required? Well, yeah, you're required so I can document it. Also, so you're saying by law I have to do this? But you just told me a minute ago that every question I give to you, every answer, has to be done willingly and voluntarily. So what if I willingly and voluntarily decline to partake? Well, I mean, everyone else answers the questions. I get that, sir, but I'm asking you, if I voluntarily would decline to partake, I mean, you just told me it has to be willing. So if I answer these questions, it's unwilling. So what are we saying here? Well, I'm just saying, everyone else does it. That's fine. They can do it. But I'm just saying I declined to do it respectfully. So what I would like to do, sir, is withdraw my application for admission. I wish to return to Canada. Well, I got to talk to the supervisor about that. I get that, sir, but I'm just asking you respectfully. But I do decline to go any further, and I decline to answer any questions, sir, respectfully. Okay, you go have a seat. He's going to be upset, go to the supervisor, and at that point, they're going to terminate the interview. This is such, you have to like the land border, USA, even at the USA airports on their soil. then at that point, there's a good chance they're just going to give you a simple denied entry because there's no sworn statement, no deportation. So then you're still allowed to leave, but you're not deported. But you're not leaving to enter USA. They're not going to let you in the USA. They're going to send you back here. Now, this officer is going to have a hard time to say that I was rude and disrespectful, and I wasn't. I'm asking him simple questions, and I know he didn't like the answers. So because of that, he said, this guy is way too smart. And I'm back in Canada. A lot of you guys won't know how to do that. And the thing is, I've known that since I was like 8 years old. It's nothing to do with this job, nothing to do with me being a former law enforcement officer. When I was 8 years old, I learned that. I learned street game at 8 years old. And I don't want to go into that too much detail. But I learned how the game works in many areas, many ways. Let's just say that. So I've learned the ins and outs of a lot of this stuff and how to deal with people, how to deal with the streets and stuff associated with it. So I'll leave it at that. Anyway, guys, hopefully this was very informative. And again, I'm not telling you to do that, but what I am telling you is they cannot give you that 5-year ban unless you do a voluntary sworn statement. So if you're the kind of person who gets, feels pressured or whatever, do the statement, that's fine. No judgment against you, but just be aware, whatever you voluntarily tell him or her is going to be documented and used against you in the future. So when you come in here, I'm going to say, why did you even tell him that? I said, that stuff, like the stuff you may have put in your statement, I'm going to say, that's not even in the system, any computer database anywhere. And you guys say, oh, I want to be honest. That's fine. But you guys don't understand your quote unquote honesty is helping to sink your ship even lower. Are there ways around that? Multiple ways around that. And what I showed you, this is just like a mere snippet because there's different other scenarios that they can throw at you, which I won't go into. But that's why you guys pay us the big bucks. Ken Scott, Senior U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst, www.usentryWaiverServices.com. And it's 888-908-3841 or 604-562-8140. Remember, guys, what you say at that border can and will be used against you. Another inside tip, guys, if this happens, let's say at YVR, at Canadian, U.S. Customs pre-clearance, let's say at YVR, Pearson, the Montreal airport, and I think Calgary airport has pre-clearance, they cannot give you the 5-year ban, the deportation, because you're still on Canadian soil. They won't tell you guys that. So you guys that fly out from YVR, in that sense, you're protected from the deportation, but you're not protected regarding the sworn statement, because the statement can be used against you in the future, but you can't be deported because you're already on Canadian soil. So that sense, you're protected. But the wording you put in there saying you've done like blow or whatever, or you moved weight in the past, they can't deport you for that at YVR airport, pre-clearance. But that still makes you permanently inadmissible where you need a waiver. So just FYI. And I'm out, guys. Any more questions, you know how to reach me. Have a great day.